our next speaker, his name is Dr. Brian Goldman. He's one of Canada's trusted voices of medicine and a doctor who likes to think like a patient. Like, he also enjoys barbecue chips as much as we do. Although he doesn't eat them at 2 o'clock like I did last night, he still enjoys barbecue chips. He makes complex medical issues digestible for audiences on the radio, television, and here as a speaker. He often personalizes medicine in a way that we can understand. At CBC Radio 1, The House Doctor reaches over 1 million listeners in 20 afternoon shows across Canada. Dr. Goldman also hosts CBC Radio 1's White Coat, Black Art, where he takes listeners behind the scenes of hospitals and doctors' offices. So this dude had like Grey's Anatomy stories like in the 80s. He just didn't sell the script. He discusses healthcare topics ranging from queue jumping to confronting medical errors and dealing with them. He's unafraid to use his own medical mistakes for examples on how doctors can improve and how we can take more control of our own healthcare. You'll find Dr. Goldman's style on stage, earnest, heartfelt, and sincere with compassion. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Brian Goldman.
Morning. Cab, who says I don't eat chips at 2 o'clock in the morning? And I'm so glad that I've been described as earnest. That's just a photo of Brian Goldman in the 1980s, trying to figure out what I was going to do with the rest of my life. I became a physician, and on the morning that I was supposed to do something really important, and that was present grand rounds at Johns Hopkins Hospital, where I was going to score my residency in neurology and come back and be a big man, I slept in. So, and that's saying something from somebody who has a PhD in insomnia. But I came back to Toronto and did a year of pediatrics and then a year of internal medicine. And at that point, I already knew that I loved writing. I'd had a couple of articles published in the Globe and Mail. But what was I going to be able to do that would give me the time to write? And in the second year of my residency, a few of my colleagues were doing moonlighting at a community hospital doing emergency medicine. And I gave it a try. And not everybody's suited to that kind of jitterbug, chronic sleep deprivation, which I like to talk about, and distractions constantly going from place to place. But I took to it, and I found it, utterly fascinating, stimulating. I felt like I could make a difference, and it was part-time enough that it gave me time to develop my career. And my career did not begin in the most fledgling, in the most exciting way. I did my homework. I wrote for many years for the Canadian Medical Association Journal, the Medical Post, and all kinds of trade publications. And for a long time, it didn't feel as if it was heading in any particular direction. But I guess in retrospect, looking back, I think about Malcolm Gladwell, who wrote the book Outliers, and little did I know I was putting in my 10,000 hours to develop a craft as a medical insider reporting on the inside world of medicine. And round about 7 years ago, I got this new idea. And at the time, people would say, I saw you on the National, and I would ask them very quickly, do you remember what I talked about? And they would kind of look down and kind of harumph and clear their throat, and they'd say, no, but you look good. And I realized that that's not what I wanted to be remembered for. And at that time, I began to pay attention to something that I had just taken for granted for many, many years. And that was that my colleagues in the emergency department and elsewhere in the hospital, nurses, paramedics, physicians, pharmacists, whatever, would say the most amazing things to each other when they thought patients weren't listening. And as soon as patients would approach, they would clam up. And I thought to myself, wow, what if I could bring those conversations to you? How would you react? Would you like it? Would you get angry? But it would engage you. And that's what the theme of today is all about.